Here you are. I've been waiting for you. I am Tessa-Marie and welcome to the Morning Blessings. It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024, and it is 7:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, Laura. Long time no see. You must be off for Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining. How are you feeling this morning? Hello, Nancy. How are you feeling this morning, guys? Hi, thank you, Nancy. How are you feeling, Nancy? I was in bed. I got home by midnight because we were in the city, and I had my daughter Jillian and Vanessa, and anyway, Kylie wasn't with us, and we went and Jillian has to go back downtown because she had a meeting, so she's staying at her home in the city. So that meant we didn't drive downtown. We took the Amtrak into the city. It's really close. Everything is underground. You're not walking outside, so we didn't feel the cold or anything. And of course, it's a fabulous show. So we had a great time. Coming home was the same thing, but 12:30. So you can imagine. So when the alarm went off, good morning, sister. When the alarm went up at 4:15, I turned around, I looked at the door, and I went so at 12:30 to get home. So that meant it was almost 1:45 when I finally got into bed. I had to take Jillian back to the Amtrak so she can take the train downtown back to her place in the city. And so it was that kind of a day. So anyway, thank you everybody for coming. Lion King Laura. I saw the Lion King. Laura is Nancy and Dawn. If you do not know of Laura, she's an old friend of the Sunday Self-Care Show. Laura used to be, the first time we met Laura, we can make it an easy morning. You guys can talk back to me. The first time we met Laura, she came on when we would have the Tessa-Marie show at night at 7 p.m. We did that show and she came on. And it was a wild show. We had, of course, Stacey was there, Nadi, and there were Christy and Yuko. And we talked about drinking wine and everything. And Laura said, I've never had wine in my life. And Laura is from the United States, southern states. And then we told her, have a little bit, as a little sip, not to get too crazy. So, oh no, that is Dawn. Oh my God, there's two Dawns. I'm so sorry, Laura. Dawn, she has the same thing, only it's 1979. So it's Dawn. This is Dawn. This is Dawn. Morning, Lisa. How are you feeling today? Sorry, guys. But anyway, this is Dawn and the same story. So Dawn, 1969, is a wonderful friend that she was looking for her friend named Tessa. Once, and we used to do I used to do Facebook instead of Instagram. And Dawn came on because she saw the name Tessa. She jumped on. And then she realized it's not her friend. And Dawn has been with the Sunday Self-Care Show from the inception. So she has been, yes, love this story. So she has been with us forever. And when I saw her name, I said, oh, I have a sister named Dawn. Her name is Dawn Merido. But we chat a lot about it. And it's the same thing. I have another person, you guys see her come on, JP something. And her name is Marina, which is an unusual name. That is the name of my sister who passed. So Dawn came on, and she has been on forever. She has helped us to host the Sunday Self-Care Show. Dawn works in a school where there are troubled teenagers. Is it in Kentucky or Tennessee? One of these places. And I did a coaching session there on Zoom or Teams. I can't remember which one. And there was a young lady named, is it Eve or Eve? Yeah, I can't remember her name. I think it's Eve. What a stunning person. Of course, she's there because of trouble. But when I spoke with her, it was so nice. You could feel the energy coming from her. And I'm just trusting that, yes, Tennessee, Knox. That's where she is. So so Dawn teaches there. So off and on, I will do a session with them. And even what was fascinating for that, even the other teachers came into and listened, and they really liked it. And that young lady, her name was Eve, and she was just like a sponge. All she needed was a little bit of something, and I knew Dawn was giving it to her. To meet Dawn is to meet an angel on earth. She's amazing. And Dawn teaches at that juvenile detention center. So she meets kids of all ages that are there for so many very reasons. But yes, she's the perfect person for that. And she has her husband. He's amazing too. So I met him. And she has a sister. She's from Michigan. Dawn is from Michigan. And her sister has a beautiful, beautiful daughter. And I think she's in her late teens now. Anyway, so I digress from the morning blessing. But yes, The Lion King was superb, as usual. You cannot help not going to the show. The costumes were to die for. And we were 3 rows from the stage on the aisle. So we had Sophia is here. She's 19. This is my time flies, eh? We were three rows from the stage on the right, and then at the end. So it was amazing. When we got there, somebody was in our seat, and the usher had to move him. Other than that, it was marvelous. The show was loud, and the singing and the those of you who have seen the show, you know the show. It's fabulous. If you get a chance, you should go. Nothing beats seeing a live show like that. So this is and Vanessa, my daughter, she loves those things. She always does. They all do. They love going. Michael does. Jillian does. They all love going to the live shows, and I love it. I love The Lion King, seen it twice and cried at the opening both times. John and I took Sophia in Detroit years ago. Yeah, it is. It is amazing. It's a beautiful show. And the story, it's almost like, when we go to the show, we have to see how they align to life. It is this story that you will look, from going way back in history, Richard the Lionheart and all these different kings, and yet how they we still have it today, because you have a king, you have 2 sons, and it's a similar situation in The Lion King. And the trickery that the uncle passes on to Simba, so that, but it's amazing because it all comes, you just about forgot there are people in costumes and see them as animals. Yeah, it's true, because the faces that are above their head, they did it so well, of course, that when they bend down, you think that face is the actual face when the real face is down here. So and what I marveled for these 3 hours was the bodies that are twisted and what they do, like those that are the giraffes and how they have to bend their knees, and those that are the hyenas. So it was just a great show. And that is number 3. So Vanessa likes to see, her favorite one she saw was Miss Saigon and Kuma Matata. Yeah, Akuna Matata. I love that. And it is so funny. I love that woman. I look at her and I see her as the storyteller in the stories I would make up. And but it was her energy, and those voices are to die for. So anyway, here we are. We digress. 7 minutes of my evening. 7 minutes of me going to bed at 1:45. 7 minutes of looking at the alarm, turning it off. And then here I am. So I really don't know anything else. I remember doing a gratitude. I did my gratitude. I can see the comparison between you and her for sure. What you do is the storyteller in her that intrigues me, and the costume. But when I wrote that book, The Storyteller, not the book, the story, I had not seen the show yet. It just came because, anyway, we're not going to talk about The Storyteller. She's like part of me. And that's why that's why one of the reasons that comes to me first is when I hear a word and I see a word, or I can immediately make a story out of it. And it's usually a word. So that you may need maybe I'm not going, it's -5 it feels like -5 today. It's not that warm. It's actually minus, what is it? It's 32 degrees today, but it feels a little cooler. The thing about me, that is one of the reasons when people speak with me or I hear a conversation, I feel the energy. I feel, and I hear the word, instantly I can take the word and twist it and make a story of it. At any moment now. I'm fine, kidding. I have the best. I have a Nespresso, and it has oat milk, oat for coffee, so it's sweet. I'll get my energy back, and it is a pumpkin spice flavor, so it's great. I'll get that back. Don't worry about it. And a shower will do it anytime, right? A cold one. So anyway, what I wanted to say to you, yes, thanks, Don, is that, hi, Loretta, good morning. We must remember that when we speak, our words, we know that they have meanings. You hear that a million times from me. And our words have an effect on our life. But you know what? When you see live theater, is the emotion the actors bring forward that tells you how your words can lift or destroy. And that is what is important. And that's what I hear. So when someone will talk to me, or they would say, we're in a conversation, and there are many people there, and I'm listening to what they have to say. And perhaps they will say, I am just going to continue doing my little things. That makes me feel that that person is what you would call in the old days a wallflower in a corner. And they they're like this. It's just the words. That's what it makes me feel. Oh, no confidence. They don't have, that way they feel. And that is so from that now, I can just write something. It's just so, I don't know where this came from. Once we had a manager that was leaving, and I was working in the Greek area, and Helen was my good friend, because I met Helen when I was in uptown. And when I moved to that area, I felt an opportunity Helen should get. And I called her, I spoke to the manager, and I said, this girl is really good, and she's Greek, it's a good area for her. And Helen came, and Helen, she blossomed. But Helen spoke with her face. She always does. Her face, she's young, but she's maybe about 52 now. So she was much younger than me. She spoke with her face. And when somebody speaks with their face, it just, there's something different. So the manager is leaving, and everybody is telling him how wonderful, the thing. And Helen's turn. And I am listening to Helen. And the way she's speaking, and all of that. So then I went back to my office, and I wrote a story. And I sent it to the staff that knew Helen. So we were just there laughing. And then she sent it, and it went crazy. And Helen, because it's like Helen wanted to make him into a saint. So I said, Helen, and then I said, what I remember, I have it written, but what I remember the most was when I looked at her face, I said, she's crying. She was crying. So I said, this is the immigration officer, and I'm sorry to tell you, the big, heavy cross you imported from Greece, we couldn't let it in. We got the mourners to come that you paid for. We were sorry. Those that were wearing too much black, we couldn't. And I was just going on with it. And because that's what I saw. And the woman was just crying and speaking about her love for her manager. So be careful when you say words to me, because I get something out of it. I do it to Dawn, my sister, with Eric. He'll say something, and I'll tell her, start making a story about it. And she goes, here she goes. Anyway, I digress. Let's do this. 12 minutes. Oh my goodness, you should not ask that question. Light, joy, and peace are within you. So we have a tiny group today. And it's always nice when you have a tiny group that you spend some time and get, involved in this thing. So I'm going to do it in such a way that you get something and you question yourself. And I expect you to make comments. And we'll just go slow. Not because I'm tired. I'm done being tired. The light, joy, and peace are within you. Now, as I said to you guys, those headings, I told you, they come. This is all into December, so I have no idea what's going to come out of it. But guidance is with me when I do that, because that's what I trust and I believe. And I have something that I say, I rest in God. So doesn't matter what is going on, it is going to end up to be perfect. And And maybe the perfection that we are looking for. Good morning, Yuko. How are you feeling today? That is not the perfection that we are desiring. But if we look deeply, we will find the perfection that we are looking for is the one that we're desiring. And that takes a little bit of time. So, yes, here I am. So, light, joy, and peace are within you. It's somebody that hasn't gotten to that point in their life to feel anything, they will not see that. The light is always within you. The joy of life is there. And the peace is always within you. It's not outside of you. It doesn't come from somebody else. We've got this. We came with it. It doesn't matter how we were born, conceived, or the point that makes the difference is we arrived. We mattered. We were chosen. We were special. We had to be there. We were given to those parents so that we can be there. The thing is, we have to have more confidence and courage within us to realize we are spectacular with all of our imperfections or perfect imperfections, with everything that is imperfect about us that we see and others see, and take the glorious time and tell us about it, is still our love, peace, and joy is within us. It doesn't go away. We came with it. The thing we have to learn to do is to tap it. Anything that you pay attention to will grow. It just seems like that because we are energy, and energy cannot help but produce better and bigger, right? So that's why hi Colin, good morning. That's why, how are you feeling today? That's why we have it in us. It's a tiny bit. It's from one seed grow many. It starts with, if we go back to Genesis, and God and Abraham and your seeds and all of that, we know all that nonsense. In a sense, it is nonsense because we do not pay attention to it. Where exactly, Don, where your attention goes, energy flows. It just happens. That's why when we put something in the ground to grow, we do it. Our flowers, we do this. We put a nice fall thing outside of the house. We decorate things, the Christmas. It is all joy and love. Somebody might say, why am I doing it? Who I'm doing it for? The thing is, it doesn't matter what we do it for ourselves. As much as we want to be saintly and amazing and burn our back in two so we can do it for others, that's cool. That's really, really cool. But the thing is, the love, joy, and peace that we so often seek is within us. The thing is, though, we are not told that we have the power to bring it out and use it outside of us. Instead, we have a reverse attitude about that. We are waiting for somebody to come and give us love and give us joy and give us peace. Really? So if they just keep giving it to you, what are they holding for themselves? If they empty their vessel into you every day and you're just like a sponge and you expect that person to fix it, give me love, love me. I hear that so often. And I always have to say to the woman that tells me, my husband does not show love anymore. And I say, well, you know what though? You have to show him how you want love. You have to express your feelings to him in many different ways. So when he sees that, you cannot help but emulate where you are. And if you're not comfortable, then you take a dive and you get out of the show. But that's not the point there. The point is, I want to be joyful. I will seek joy. And when you seek joy, joy is that serum that never leaves you. And when you say to me that I don't feel joyful, when you keep saying that, that's your affirmation. That's your mantra. Good morning, Kathleen. How are you feeling this morning? I'm believing you had a good night's sleep. So anyway, what I need you to remember is that the love, right, that you're looking for, the joy that you're looking for is already there. The peace that you want is already there. It's up to you to take the time to nurture it. The thing is, we do not care. We expect this other person in our life. It could be our parents. You didn't do good enough. Like the Italian girls that took their father to court in Toronto years and years ago. The man could hardly climb up the stairs of City Hall to go to the courts. His two grown daughters sued him because he kept them at home clean. Not kept them, but they had to do work and they couldn't function to be the person they want to be. So as adults, they decided, maybe we should sue him now for that. So they expected their father to fulfill not only their earthly needs, but their emotional needs. So sometimes we have to allow others to fall on their face and let them take it up. And if every time we pull them up and we are there to wipe their face and wipe it, when they're done there, they look and say, you're not wiping my face. You have ways and means to fix me. You're not fixing me. That person, there comes a time that you have to just say, okay, you can choose to stay there or rise. You were given the tools. So all of us, to find love. You want to find love. And you want to be loved by others. And you wake up in the morning and the first thing you describe is how horribly you look. Come on. That's what you're seeing. You get up in the morning and because you're at home, you choose not to wear anything decent. You look like somebody that lives in a poorhouse. And you think, that's good? If that is how you want others to see you, then fine. If you want others to see you looking like you're so unhappy, your face is always moaning, like you're in pain. That's what I saw in Helen's face that day. Like he was dead. So I created a Greek dead scene and I sent it to, you know the story. So that is what I am asking each of us. You want to find the joy. As I said, joy is a serum that we all have. The thing that we get in moments is happiness, and we seem to mess them up. Joy will tell you the world is falling apart, but you are there. I remember nursing one of my children, and my husband walked in, and I was in a rocking chair, and he looked at me and said, listen to me. If the roof fell down, and everything was crashing, as long as it didn't touch the two of you, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't care. And that was the joy of that infant at that time, at my breast. And that was what it is. That was, you yearn for it. You get it. And now you have it, and you expect something else out of it. So you're looking for love. Start with self. How long did it take you to think about yourself? What were you going to wear? Or was it just whatever? That is not loving you, because then that energy that you send out, the words that you use when you speak about the hygiene that you do, like it's, quickly get out of the shower. Have one day where you let the damn water flow for 20 minutes. Because it is important. Because you're looking to be peaceful. But you take every moment to be angry at people. And sometimes the anger can be treated with a laugh. Sometimes you can do my thing. When I do not want to interact or to be engaged, I just bring whatever I have to my lip and I leave it there. Like that. And I might have a smile on my face. And there are times that is when you want to make sure you have that peace. And you hold back. It's not every time that something happens you have to jump in right away. It is very wise to stop and go back, walk away. And I always say, live to fight another day. You know, it's not the same day your mother dies that you cry all the time. You will cry years later. So there are times you have to wait and walk away because you want that peace that that person does not have. You want to make sure you put it in place. So the love we are looking for, we have already. Love of self. If we cannot love ourselves, how can I express my love to you? I will constantly find fault with you because I find fault with myself all the time. No matter who they are, we always have to remember one thing. They were created by the same God, if you believe in God, that created you. Therefore, all what you do not like about that person is part of the God that made them, according to what we know. You're created in the image and likeness of me. So what I notice, I use this in my morning gratitude. I do these 50 gratitudes with my rosary and 50 at night, and then all through the day I drop it here, I write it down. But one of them I always use every day. Everybody I meet I'm happy and grateful that everybody I meet is amazing, beautiful, and spectacular. I'm happy and grateful everybody I talk with is amazing, beautiful, and spectacular. What I've noticed, even last night, sitting at Lion King, the family next to me, the lady suddenly got engaged. I had one of my crazy shoes on. And she said, oh, I love your shoe. And they started a conversation before the show, an intermission, and we were just chatting. It could have gone another way. Right? And then, so when we were sitting, this young man was passing behind and he just pushed so hard. And he pushed right against me. And so he didn't stop, he just kept going. He sat down and I said, excuse me. I looked back. I said, when you hit somebody with your body, you touch them, you say, I'm sorry. And he looked at me and his face fell. He said, I apologize, I'm sorry. So she said to me, I wouldn't do that. I said, well, I would not do that. You have to know. I'm sorry. If we allow it, then he apologized. And that gives you the peace, the satisfaction. He maybe didn't know. You think he'll do that again? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he'll be more careful. And these are the things that we have to realize. Peace is choosing the right time to do the right thing. You look at the person and you can see the veins in their forehead and on their neck, and they have a lead pipe in their hand. Do you think that is the time to go towards them? That is the time to walk away. And these are the things people don't realize, is that the consequences of not pulling back because you're not peaceful can affect an entire family group on both sides. So choose. And always, if you find you have an anger or you cannot find, you always say, I am happy and grateful that every occasion in my life is peaceful, amazing, and spectacular. Use that. And the love. See love in others. There's something to love in somebody. Even if it's their dedication to their cat. It doesn't matter. And then that joy. Joy is a planted seed in us. And when you really have it, you're going to look at disasters and you're going to look at triumph the same way. You're going to look at them both quizzically and decide. And you smile. Because no matter where you are, let's say you have to swim ashore and you can swim ashore. You have a choice in that moment to realize how difficult it is to swim ashore, or to take the idea, I can do this. And feel the joy. It's a good thing I was taught to swim. It's a good thing, every stroke, it's a good thing I was taught to swim. It's a good thing I had these qualities. Joy, those nuns that taught me something. And I'm sure this woman didn't believe that all of that was saying, maybe because I was mischievous even in the classroom. But she said, at the end of your time and you're in a relationship as a woman, if it doesn't go good, you have an ability to grab your children and grab your diploma to prove you were educated. And that's why you need to educate yourself, because you see, if you're educated, you can start again. They didn't take anything from you. And the satisfaction and the joy should be, I'm so I'm so joyful. I have this. It's tough, but I'm educated and I can go fight. I can start again. I can plunge. I can do it again. And maybe if a body that is worn out, like they say start again with worn out tools. Our tool is our mind. Of course, it is not the same by then. But if you have joy within you, you'll find it at this time. You might be in a place where it's not pleasant. Maybe all you were able to get was the bedroom and the kitchen and living room and there's these walls and it's empty. But you're at peace. You have the joy with the satisfaction that I love myself sufficiently to grab my children and myself or to pull myself out of a relationship that's going to destroy me or turn me to be just like that. So we have to choose. And then when we choose and we find out where they are, those three things, we need to nurture them in moments. Not like, nurturing joy is feeling it. When you feel the serum of joy, you will know. You will be as drunk as the apostles were. Because that feeling of joy is flowing through you. And people look at you, why are you giggling so much? Why are you laughing? You're always laughing. Well, yes. There's so much to see. Some friend of mine tells me she loves seeing the squirrels fight for their nuts. And people tease her, but I said, that's great. I said, you're observing the animals. Instead of seeing everything as a pain, look and see what is peaceful in it, what is joyful in it, what it is you love. And this is why I ask you, always do the things that make you feel good. Repeat it until you get good at it. I had a choice today. I could have just not show up. But why? I'm alive. I have 2 hours of sleep. And if I feel like sleeping later, I can. I have a brain that does not allow this very often. I have to talk to it. So the point is, I chose to come and do this. I chose to be here because I'm doing it for me. Is that considered selfish by many? Certainly, most certainly, absolutely. You just love to hear yourself speak. Yes, I do. Because I was graced with a voice and a tongue and the ability to speak. So I'm grateful I can speak. I can ask Dawn, you can ask Yuko, and I don't know if Kathleen was around. And when I started this journey, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't always nice. Oh, I lost so many friends because of that. They couldn't stand the heat. They couldn't see the joy. They couldn't see my purpose. Like somebody said, yeah and back. And somebody said to Dawn, you're retired, sit down and put your foot up. Really? Somebody said to my cousin Hazel, whose husband passed away a few years ago, hey, what are you doing with a boyfriend? Lie in your bed and say your rosary. Can you believe people dictate? That is where they want this vibrant 60-year-old woman to be. Really? Honestly? She called me crying. And I said, what are you crying about? I said, this is your life. And this person is zapping your joy. Your husband was a fabulous man. I know him. Here he didn't work with one computer. Paul worked with 3. He was a doctor for the World Health Organization. And I knew him sitting in this room with 3 computers, working on them. I also knew him when he was sick. And that's what I mean. So I said, we had the joy of watching Paul, and Paul and myself got along marvelously. And we would do things and leave Hazel out of it, and she'd be upset. But it's just to trigger her. And she still laughs about that and said, when you guys are eating something and not offering me because I said I don't want it. Then I looked at it and I wanted it. Too late, too bad. So the thing about it is knowing how to capture that peace, knowing how to capture that joy, knowing how to capture that love that you have for self and use it before you step into the world where people will turn around and tell you horrible things about yourself. And as Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. They are not going to change. And you have to protect yourself because they will stress you out. People like that, they're like gnats. Or they're like something that just itching you and you wish you could just rip the skin where they're itching you. And if you allowed them to do that to you day in and day out, you would pay the price. They won't. Because their MO is to come and destroy the joy, the peace, and the love you have. They need to criticize what is wrong with the person you love. What is wrong with you for loving yourself? I cannot stand that you're always so serene. You walk in a special way. I can't stand that. I do not understand for sure the joy that you're feeling. You always look so joyful. And they say it is that thing. But look at your life. Did you create it? Did you plan it? I'm not going to say sacrifices because we didn't. Did you make choices that nobody else would make at the time? We're still allowed to do that. I tell people, live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else later on. That does not mean you have to choose which one to do. You can be crazy and spend all your money now in your youth and just do what you have to do and have a ball. And I cannot tell you not to do that because I do not know what type of candle you are. If you are born to have a bright candle lighting, chances are, and it is so vibrant, your life will be shorter than most. But your candle have to light. And some people, their candle burns so fast. We see that in many artists like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, and then there's so many more. I see it with my sister. She died at 59, but when you met her, you never, ever forgot her. My neighbors still speak about her. You know, and that's one of those kind of people. So, and then there are those like us that enjoy where we are and plan so that when we get to a certain age, we have the freedom to enjoy a different lifestyle. But both of them are okay. It is time we stop telling children how to spend their money. We should have given them sufficient information that they can choose which one. And the thing will tell them. Their body will tell them. The candle lighting and flashing will tell them. You ever heard late bloomers? Some of us are just late bloomers. But what we are doing when you are a late bloomer, you're sharpening your axe. You're getting ready to cut down many trees, and you do not want to waste the time. And you plan for it. And those that live that wild life, sometimes, you know, like the hippies, they said they would never, baby boomers, that we would never get there. Yet history is going to tell them we're the wealthiest people because we inherit. And then we did our own. But at the time when they were doing Woodstock, nobody believed they would ever come out of Woodstock. Look at Jimi Hendrix, Mama Cass Elliot. We can just name them. Their music intoxicated us. We still have it. What is that young lady in Britain that died? And she said, my daddy said I didn't need any rehab. When you heard that voice, so there we are. But then we have those like the Streisand, like the Madonna, like all the others that last forever. Everybody has their purpose. That's why it is important to choose and love yourself. Oh yeah, Amy Winehouse, yeah. Amazing singer. I realized it's not my job to tell my mom how to spend money that I gave her. No, it's you know what, Luyuko, I'm so glad you do that. This is longer than usual. Those who hang will stay. This is this season of giving. And I am so tired of seeing people wagging their broken, crooked index finger at somebody they're giving a $5 to or 25 cents or something. Or taking the time to spew the anger and say, I'm not giving you my money, they're going to use it for drink and drugs. Well, that's their choice, isn't it? Your decision to give should not have a caveat. Your decision to give should not come with instructions. Milton said it best to me when he was coming out of the Bulldog, whatever they call these places, the corner store in New York. There was a man sitting there, and he gave the man a $5 bill, And the store owner came out and said, you shouldn't give him the money, just going to use it for alcohol and drugs. And Milton says, sir, the minute I put that money in this man's hand, it no longer belongs to me. He can choose to do whatever it is he wants to do. This is his job, not mine. My job was to give it. His job was to decide what to do with it. And that is what we have to remember, Yuko. This is a season of giving. When you see the salvation, I'm going to go out maybe tomorrow. I'll first go to the machine and I'll get $30 in $5 bills. You know why? Everywhere I go and I see that red kettle and the jingling bell, I put $5 in it. Not to be holy, but the reason why I do that, when there is a disaster, no matter where in the world it is, the Red Cross finds themselves there. And somebody will say to me, oh, they're going to use it for administration. And you know what? You just sit there. Why don't you go work for them and find out what they use it for? That's not my business. I have it. I am giving it. And that's why you have to give. If you have to give. And it's only in giving that you will find it coming. It doesn't come back in money coming to you. It might come back in perfect health. It might come out that you find you're so peaceful, your emotion is so balanced. You might come out that you find yourself feeling really peaceful and love at this time of the year. You might see something different on your Christmas tree all of a sudden. So this is what happens. It does not always come back in how you give it. It comes back in many different ways. You might see that your children are doing differently. Your spouse is doing differently. All because your energy has changed. All because you choose a higher level energy. And that is why we're here today. Nursing home took care of my late father-in-law runs by Salvation Army. You see, there you go. And it was run by the Salvation Army. So even if you can't give 5, do it. And when the person, maybe you have a spouse if you doesn't believe in it, you have to say, you know what, you do you, and I'll do me. And if they persist to talk about it and call you names and tell you all that, you say, again, you do you, and I'll do me. And that will frustrate people. It's like when you say to them, in that calm, cool voice, are you okay? They seem like, you know, that bird that flutters its wings and rah, rah, and the crow. Are you okay? You notice the crow is looking for something to scavenge on, right? It's looking for what is already dead, to bite, to chew. So if you have a crow in your life, you need to choose to go above them and smile. It's okay, you know. You can say whatever you want. It's a free country. We have the freedom to, even if it's not freedom to speak. Speak anyway. Pontificate anyway. And see what happens. Guys, I'm sorry I kept you guys so long. Those of you who are hanging on. Dawn spoke. The Dawn spoke. The Yuko spoke. And I know Nancy has always got a lot of problems where she is. Yeah, I'm back. So Dawn had lost her thing. But when you attention go, I love that Dawn. Dawn from Tennessee. Yeah, when you give your mom the money, don't tell her anything. Let her do that. Let her spend her money where she wants. Hi, Esto. So tomorrow is your Thanksgiving. Most of you that are here from America. I wanted to make a banner and I need Yuko's help, but she's very busy. So I'll maybe have to put a Thanksgiving message for you guys on. I will do it. I'll do a live. And if you can come. And just enjoy it. If you can't, I don't know what's going to be. Let me see what topic I was given for tomorrow. You need a plan. Did you have a plan for Thanksgiving? Because you need a plan. That's tomorrow's topic. Have a great day, guys. Let me say thank you to you wonderful humans. Nancy, Yuko, Lisa, Dawn, and Kathleen, and Loretta. And Kathleen, I'll talk to you if you have a chance immediately. So anyway, here I am, and we're here, and we're saying goodbye. See you guys tomorrow, and happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends. I should have brought my thing that I wrote so I could have read it to you guys this morning. But have a really, really wonderful day, and the best thing you can do is to remember, look for joy, and look for love, and find the peace within you. It's not outside of you, and nobody can give it to you. Have a wonderful and amazing day. I love you. Today is a day to put a fire on and write, so I think I'm going to write. Have some fun. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Love you guys.